News alert, major developments out of Washington. President Trump says he will declare a national emergency in order to build his border wall. You are looking live at the Senate floor, where lawmakers just passed a budget bill to avoid another partial government shutdown. It now heads to the House. The president says he will sign the bill and will then declare the national emergency. The White House describing the plan, saying, quote, President Trump will sign the government funding bill, and as he has stated before, he will also take other executive action, including a national emergency, to ensure we stop the national security and humanitarian crisis at the border. The president is once again delivering on his promise to build the wall, protect the border, and secure our great country. This move obviously comes with a lot of pushback from Democrats and could set up a major legal showdown. Here's Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi.
If President Trump decides to go forward with a disaster declaration, he'll be making a tremendous mistake.
Did I ever say I was filing a legal challenge?
You said Democrats.
I may. That's an option, and we'll review our options. But it's important to note that when the president declares this emergency, first of all, it's not an emergency, what's happening at the border. It's a humanitarian challenge to us. The president making an end run around Congress. Here he said, let us respect what the committee will do, and then walks away from it.
Well, Jesse, I know you pay attention to what I say, right?
What's that?
You know that. Remember the last day that when the shutdown ended and he said they're going to do this compromise bill? I said at the end of it, he's still going to declare a national emergency.
And remember what I said? I also said, I don't know if we're ever going to get money for the wall. And if you look at this, there's no money for the wall. This thing is packed with so many poison pills and landmines.
There's a lot.
If you just look at just one right here, it prohibits construction in the Rio Grande Valley on federal land. The entire Rio Grande Valley is like federal land you can't build the wall on. And it says what type of wall you can't build, what you can build. And the worst part, you have to consult with local elected officials in the area before they sign off on a wall. So Beto gets a say on whether the wall gets built. It's total garbage. I don't know how these Republican negotiators got smoked, but they got smoked hard. It's clear that the Democrats are never going to give them the wall, but you didn't think the Republicans were going to go along with this. How could they allow so many poison bills in this negotiation? It's atrocious. Fox News polling says 66% of the American people want a budget deal with border wall funding. Yet, there's no border wall funding in this bill. So he's been sabotaged. He has to declare a national emergency. I don't like the idea of a national emergency, but one, U.S. Code 2808 and U.S. Code 284 give him that authority.
You know, I love being on this show with you because you flip-flop from day to day to try to make excuses for Trump. Yesterday you said, this is not a bad deal, 55 miles.
Until I read what was in it.
No.
And that's the thing. They put this out at 1 a.m. last night.
Let me get this
no
straight.
one has read this bill.
No
one has read the bill. It's like Obamacare.
What you said yesterday is not true, Jesse? It's not 55 miles?
I changed because I read the bill. That's what happens when you read one. You change your opinion.
Yeah, and you scream. Let me just say, this, to me, is an outrage. I mean, this is like a tyrant who says, I'm going to go around to Congress, forget democracy, I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to please the far right-wingers on talk radio who apparently have all the power and have his ear because guess what? He had a deal in December, and he said no to it, even though it was bipartisan, endorsed by Mitch McConnell. He now has a deal today, passed by majority of Republicans, endorsed by Mitch McConnell. He goes around the Congress, he goes around Republicans, and sets his own agenda in line with people who are in his ear from the talk radio show crowd. The fact is, by the way, CBS poll, 66% of Americans say no to a national emergency for this wall. In Fox polling, 56%. Fox has 50% opposed right now, opposed to any wall construction. 2/3 support the deal that was on the table that includes some money for additional border security, not for a wall.
It says it right here in the poll,
right.
Juan.
That's what I'm telling you.
Walls
so what
and barriers.
So what you get here is 60% of Democrats, 73% of Republicans.
No, let him keep talking. Let him keep talking.
Greg, I was going to ask you about the president now going into 2020.
Yes.
Now he could run against conservatives, the Republicans in Congress, and the Democrats on border security because he'll say that they didn't give what the people wanted.
Yeah. Let's dismiss this idea that declaring a national emergency is a big deal. We do it all the time. In fact, calling it a national emergency is a bit overstating it. And I think we have a bunch of them currently going on right now.
30.
So it's not, yeah, like 30. It's not a big deal. The craziest item, the poison pill that is truly poisonous in this, and this is why he shouldn't sign it, is according to the fine print, you can't remove any potential sponsor or member of a household who might be a potential sponsor, meaning that's amnesty for anybody who might be a cartel smuggler.
Anybody who brings a minor, sponsors
if that kid, if there's a kid right there, he could just grab. He turns every unaccompanied minor into a very expensive shield.
Yep.
You know what? This is why you should hate government with every fiber of your being. This was a 1,200-page bill designed to chain yank the president. So you had these months where you could have listened to experts. You could have actually gone and met and listened to. Yeah, Juan, keep popping your head like that. But it's true. The Democrats ignored the advice of the experts. Instead, they created a bill just to yank him. That's why he should declare the national emergency. Juan, I listened to you, Juan, for 4 minutes.
It's Republicans and Democrats who voted to pass this bill.
Which is a
mistake. And if you recall, Donald Trump said, I have here a tweet, November 2014, Obama subverting the Constitution because he's unable to negotiate.
So you're okay with this idea that you can't remove any potential sponsor? You're okay with that?
What does that have to do with
Oh, you didn't read the bill, did you, Juan?
I'm saying to you, Greg,
Juan didn't read it.
I read it.
Juan, you're a prisoner of your own mind. You're a prisoner of your own mind.
In other words, you don't even support what Republicans do. You only support what Trump does.
No, I think for myself. You should try it.
You should
try it. These are the talking points.
What he's talking about, though, this thing about the sponsors is the main point. That's going to incentivize the child trafficking, which is part of the humanitarian crisis that Trump and Republicans are claiming that they want to solve. So, I mean, look, it's a bad deal. Just because Republicans support something doesn't mean it's a good deal. This is a bad. I don't see how he signs on to this, though. Even if he declares a national emergency and then he's acknowledging that, yes, there is a humanitarian crisis at the border. This is a big deal. We do need more money. I am going to move federal money around in order to solve this. By signing this, he's saying that he's okay with all of this stuff and okay with something that allows for and foments child trafficking, that prohibits, fencing in certain areas, that prohibits certain types of fencing that he's been out there saying the fencing structures that we have now don't work. This is saying, well, yeah, the prototypes that you like, we're not going to go for these. So I don't understand how he does this and has himself on record.
So the bill got worse after the shutdown.
Let's go just back to what Greg highlighted here. If you're a cartel member, you're a human trafficker, and you bring a child across the border, this legislation says they can't deport you.
Yes.
They give amnesty to cartel members and human traffickers in this bill. Or if you're thinking about sponsoring a minor, or if you know a minor in the United States that you'd like to sponsor.
Basically anyone.
It's pretty much anybody that has any relationship with an unaccompanied minor gets a pass under this bill. Juan, even you can't agree with that.
Let me just say this. Chicken Little has good hair. At least today on this show, because you are like the sky is falling over.
We're just saying it's a bad bill.
I forgot what you said after you complimented my hair.
The reason that President Trump cites for this is, in this bill I can't move around the funds that I want to, because remember he was saying, well, I want to move additional funds in order to supplement the limited money coming for what yesterday Jesse praised as the 55 miles given to him by Democrats.
Before I read
it.
But
now he's saying, it's about children, or it's about
he's been saying
diseased
it's about children
people,
for a
or
long
it's about
time.
There's a caravan of invaders.
Yeah, remember when you thought the caravans were a big problem?
This guy just lies, and there are people who will do anything to defend him. 2 kids died, Juan.
I guess that wasn't a problem.
Oh, get out of here.
It's true.
As far as a national emergency, too, interesting. They're already shifting the language, folks on the left. Chris Hayes had tweeted out, climate change really is a national emergency. Yeah. So now what you're going to have is every left-wing activist is going to come forward and say, well, if he's going to use this for a national emergency, I'm going to use that. Even though we have existing national emergencies, the fact that Trump makes this contentious issue a national emergency, I promise you.
I'm declaring that Juan is a national emergency.
Here's what I'm declaring to you. Not one of all these 30 previous national emergencies allowed a president to spend unauthorized dollars, which is what Trump wants.
Did you have a problem
that might end up in
with Obama's
court
executive
and
order?